Hello everyone, welcome to our Embodied Movement yoga class here on YouTube. Today I would like to explore with you some embodied movement for the shoulders and how to bring a component of shoulder mobility, hip flexion and extension to a fun and dynamic extension that we have seen in our previous classes as well. So let's build on top of something that we have already previously seen. If you have not checked the previous videos, make sure you practice them as they are a good foundation for the work that we will be exploring together today. Let's begin at the top of the mat in our Tadasana position. For today's class, I am using a blanket for whenever we will explore our kneeling movements, and you could also have a couple of blocks to support you for your forward flexions. We start with the feet hip width distance, the second toe is pointing forward, and we let go of the shoulders down towards the elbows. In our embodied practice, we have something that we call the Hu breath, which is a gentle inhalation through the nostrils and a gentle exhalation through the mouth while sparking the lips. One more time, we inhale through the nostrils and we spark the lips to exhale. Then we take a normal breath, observing the weather of the body, observing the base of support, how the plant of the foot, the sole of the foot is grounded. We observe the distribution of the body weight into the feet. And we are standing in a very natural way. There is no need to superimpose a previous Tadasana into today's practice. We are experiencing the body at the present moment. With this idea in mind, we begin by raising both arms up, shoulders to the ears, palms facing out, and exhale. Arm pattern, slight posterior pelvic tilt to ground the heels, reaching up through the little finger to raise the sternum to the ceiling, palms facing out, and exhale. One last cycle. And arms alongside the body. And then we anterior pelvic tilt and posterior pelvic tilt. We find this movement of the hips which is influencing the position of the spine. We keep the posterior pelvic tilt, we take the chin to the sternum, bowing the head down, and we take an inhalation in the back of the neck. And when we exhale, we move segmentally down into a ragdoll. We continue by inhaling between the scapula and exhale, we expose the mid-back. The arms are hanging as well as the head. The buttocks are connected down towards the heels. The front of the body is condensing and the back of the body is expanding. Feel free to look for depth. One more breath. Through the ragdoll, I'm not looking to reach the floor, I'm not looking for the floor. I am trying to lengthen all those muscles which connect the sacrum and the back of the head. My erector spinae muscles are becoming long and relaxing in this position. I'm connecting the pubic bone to the navel and I am unrolling the spine vertebra by vertebra, stacking the vertebrae on top of each other to find the head back in line with the sacrum and move breathing. Inhale through the nose, gentle exhale through the mouth. Now we continue with the arms pattern. We raise the shoulders up, we take the elbows into the side ribs, and now relax the arms. One step at a time. Raise the arms up. Squeeze the scapula towards each other, elbows into the side ribs, and now I'm taking the forearm parallel to the ground and relax. One more time, just the arms, elbows into the side ribs, and now I'm going to take the palms under the armpits and I'm going to use the movement of the shoulders to round the spine, reach to the back of the room, maintain a rounding of the spine like into the previous ragdoll. And then I'm swimming backward. The arms come back to the side, to the back of the room, below the armpits, and I'm finding an extension. And again, flexion to an extension. One more time. It's a good idea to exhale and flex and condense the front of the body, and to inhale and extend and expose the front of the body. Arms alongside the body, posteriorly tilt the pelvis, chin to the sternum, and we begin moving down gently into a ragdoll, fluidly exposing vertebra by vertebra. We can find our whole breath in here. The whole breath is an instrument of introspection, so we use it to find the sensation of inner silence. We connect the pubic bone to the navel and unroll the spine to come back up in your own time, experientially. So this is an experience of movement. It's not a production of movement, one after the other. And now let's continue with the pattern. We raise the arms up, elbows into the side ribs. We hinge at the hips and we find Tadasana. Now the palms go under the armpits, reach back and round the spine. Press into the heels, come up. And again, bend at the hips, elbows squeezing the side ribs. Body weight into the heels, and now we go into the arm pattern, round the spine, posteriorly tilt the pelvis, condensing the front, press into the heels to come up. Expand. One more time. Now we're going to swim backward. We go into the pattern of flexion, and from flexion we come back into extension. Now the hips and the shoulders are working together to flex the spine and back to extend it. One more time. Flex the spine and bounce gently in the knees. Pressing into the heels, come up with the arms to the ceiling. And now we're going to find the movement called double cross, double bend. The arms move to the side and bend the knees and let go of the arms, expand. Double bend and open. Let's find some rhythm. The head is relaxed and it's following. It's a very human movement of flexion and extension. One more time. We keep the arms up to the ceiling and we take the arms in line with the shoulders. Left arm down, right arm up. Right shoulder to the ear and then side bend. The right shoulder moves towards the ear to expose the right lung. The posterior tilt is connecting the right buttock to the right heel to ground the foot. Now I have two directions, shoulder up, buttock down, and the breath is inviting the lung to grow tall. When I inhale, I do it to the right lung, and when I exhale, I'm looking to condense the left side of the body. Come back up. Moving into the lateral sling of the body, exhale. Posterior pelvic tilt to connect the heels. Left shoulder to the ear to expose the side ribs. And we use the exhalation to let go and drop the body weight down. We can try to keep the left elbow as straight as possible and imagine to reach an imaginary object in the air to the left hand, which keeps moving away from the body. We come back up, and like a tree moved by the wind, like a bamboo moved by the wind, we move side to side. Inhalation makes me grow vertically, exhalation makes me side bend. The head is heavy. In the embodied movement practice, we try to look at the body with the eyes, avoiding straining in the neck, and maintaining that connection, visual connection towards the body. One more side bend, side to side. We finish by side bending on the left side. We come back to the center and rest. Now we raise both arms up one more time. Hinge at the hips, elbows into the side ribs. Flex the spine, connect wherever you are, and now raise the right leg up, and knee to the chest. Hold it for a second, foot to the ground, swing back, and extend. Again, flexion, shift the body weight to the right leg, lift the left heel, and if the body allows, lift the left knee and stay condensed into this very small Utkatasana, like a seed. And then again, foot on the ground, extend. Last one, flex, press into the feet, arms up, and double bounce. In one of these attempts, we're going to lift the heels up, off the ground. Lift the heels, and again, heels down. Let's stimulate the balance in the ankle. We try to stay with the body weight into the inner foot. One more cycle, and we're going to hold it up. Arms in line with the shoulders, floating Tadasana, bending at the knees, floating Utkatasana. The buttocks go down, the arms move up, inhale, floating Malasana. Disconnecting of the palms, the hands move on the ground, and we come up into Uttanasana. Let's experience the body weight into the front of the feet, the back of the head is heavy, shoulders relaxed. Let the buttocks move up to the ceiling and the heels remain down to the ground to lengthen the back of the hamstrings, the back of the legs. We bend and extend the knees on the spot. Keep the knees bent and step the legs back. Downward facing dog. We lift the heels up, we connect the pubic bone to the navel, and we big wave into flexion, bending of the knees, extension. Flex and extend. A few more cycles of moving fluidly from a flexion to an extension of the spine. The hips are the brain, the spine is receiving the movement. One more time. And we keep the shoulders in line with the wrists, and we take the knees onto the blanket, and we come down, buttocks on the heels. Inhale, press into the feet, exhale, come up, angry cat. Anterior tilt, inhale, and we come back down. Let's continue from here. Inhale, and exhale. It's nice to have a sustainable practice, looking after the knees. Always put something under. The practice of today should never be an obstacle to the practice of tomorrow. A few more cycles of our reoccurring pattern of the cat-cow. We maintain the angry cat. We connect the feet on the floor. We straighten up the legs. Keep the chaturanga. The sternum and the pubic bone remain in one line. The shoulders move gently forward over the wrist, loading the wrists. And now press the hands forward to a downward facing dog. Lift the heels up, double bending at the knees. Double bending. And in one of these attempts, step the feet forward, preferably with the non-dominant leg. And Uttanasana, completely surrender to the force of gravity. Full breathing. The back of the head is heavy to lengthen the back of the neck. Connect the pubic bone to the navel, gently unroll the spine to come up. Very slowly. Ragdoll into Tadasana. Observe the environment, the weather of the body, the echo of the previous movements in the spine, the sensation of the chest that is growing taller. We raise the arms up. And again, double cross, double bend, double cross. And now we raise the heels up. We hold. Arms in line with the shoulders, bending of the knees, arms in namaskara, we sit down, arms up to the ceiling, disconnecting of the palms, shifting the body weight into the hands, Uttanasana, and we bend the legs and step the legs back into downward facing dog. Raising the heels up, lifting the right leg up to the ceiling as far as possible for now, and then step the right foot in between the hands. Now here, you can have 2 blocks and place the blocks in between the hands. Straighten up and bend the right leg. Just a few cycles to get used to the back of the knee receiving the stretch. Now let's fix the back leg foot. Step the left foot 45 degrees and gently straighten up the right leg. Pressing the hands into the floor, raising the chest up to create space in the belly, and then bend the elbows and surrender to the force of gravity. And let's just hold our Parvottanasana. The right buttock is moving back to lengthen the right side of the body. The belly button is rotating to the right leg to drop the left hip down. The feet are pressing away from each other to create integrity in the legs. Use the breath to move lower and deeper. Bending of the right knee, take the left knee onto the blanket, and now press into the right heel to come up to a 90-90 kneeling position. We're going to move the arms forward, down, back, and up. And then we go with the arms back, down, forward, and up. One more time. Full circumduction of the shoulders. And now we're going to use the hips and the arms at the same time. The hips move back and the arms go into a circumduction, fold forward in flexion, and then press into the left foot, counter circumduction, arms up, elbows into the side ribs, and continue. The right knee, when I sink forward, like now, right knee in line with the second toe, body weight into the right heel. And when I'm coming back, the left buttock is in line with the left heel. When I'm coming forward, the scapulae are looking for each other and the sternum is opening up. When I'm going backward, the scapulae go away from each other, the sternum comes in, the spine is rounding. One more time. Sinking forward, allowing the left hip flexors to open. Going back and dorsiflex the right foot to create opening into the gastrocnemius and soleus. Now we come back up, let's try another cycle. Now sink into the right knee, elbows into the side ribs. Now palms parallel to the ground, arms below the armpits, reach back and flex. And now swim back. Swimming forward and back, just like we did when we were standing. We're using the pattern of the arms in a different way to find the two expressions. One more time. And at the next pattern, I'm going to stay into a flexion. I'm going to find 2 90 degrees angle in the knees so I can step the right foot a little bit back, just below the right knee. And I'm going to walk laterally with my left hand in line with the left knee. So I'm going to turn so you can see. I'm going to look in a position like this. Left hand in line with the left knee. And then I'm going to press the left hand into the ground and I'm de-rotating the chest. Sternum to the ceiling. Right arm below the left armpit to rotate. Sternum comes in, spine is rounding. And then we shift the hips forward to go into an extension. Shift the hips back to invite the flexion in the spine. A few more cycles of our rotation and de-rotation. At the next cycle, I would like to take the right hand onto the right hip and I'm shifting the body weight from the legs to the left hand. Shifting. This movement could be challenging for the left shoulder, so feel free to use a block to raise the floor, and this movement now is going to load the legs a little more than the shoulders, making it easier. Now I would like to hold the body weight into the left hand, the shoulder perpendicular to the floor with the left wrist, and I'm going to Lift the left leg, and we're gonna step it forward. And back. One more time. Exit the left hand. Come with the body weight into the legs. And now, body weight into the left hand. Lift the left leg and step it forward. Back. One more time. Body weight into the legs. Body weight into the left hand. Step the left leg forward. And lift the right heel. Gentle side plank. Coming back. Right hand on the floor. We walk with our hands to the front of the mat, straightening the left knee, bend and extend the right knee, finding rhythm to step back to a downward facing dog. We're gonna hold the downward facing dog here for a few breaths and just sense the difference in between the right and the left side of the body. The back of the head is heavy, lengthening the cervical spine. The hands are pressing into the floor to take the buttocks away from the shoulders. Straightening the elbows and taking the shoulders up towards the ears to lengthen the side ribs. And then I'm relaxing the posture by bending the knees and bending the elbows, and I'm allowing the body to move however it's directing me to go, wherever it's directing me to go right now. I'm going to find, once again, a downward dog, lifting the heels up, lifting the left leg up, and I'm holding it for a second. I'm raising the right heel off the ground as much as possible, and I'm looking for the ceiling with the left foot, pointing it upward. And then I'm stepping the foot in between the hands, walking the hands under the shoulders. Now it's a good idea to have blocks under the hands, and then we straighten and flex the left knee. We get accustomed to the movement into the back of the left knee. We keep the left knee bent, placing the right foot to a 45-degree angle, and then we straighten up the left knee. I'm pressing the hands into the ground to raise the sternum forward and lengthen the space in between the sternum and the pubic bone, and then I'm allowing the force of gravity to take me into a flexion. I'm pressing the feet away from each other to ground the heels in opposite directions. This is going to sustain the integrity of the legs. I'm moving the left buttock to the back of the room to lengthen the side body to the left. The right hip is moving down to the floor and the belly button is moving to the left leg. I'm using the exhalation to surrender to the force of gravity and find that the shoulders are relaxed. I'm pressing the hands into the ground, I'm raising the chest up, bending of the left knee, and the right knee is coming onto the blanket. Now the arms go back and up to the ceiling, and I'm going to find my arms forward, down, back, and up, the circumduction of the arms. One more cycle. And I'm going to find the circumduction of the arms paired with the movement of the hips. The hips move back and the arms go forward, down, back, and over the head. Rest here for a second. The right buttock is in line with the right heel. Then I'm pressing the right foot into the floor, raising up. Counter circumduction of the arms, sinking into the left heel. Elbows into the side ribs, squeezing, the sternum is opening. And I'm coming back. In our own time, finding our own rhythm. The suggestion is we find strength in slow movements. The left heel is taking the body weight, the left knee is in line with the second toe. And when I'm flexing, I'm gently dorsiflexing the left foot to create a sensation of length into the superficial back line. When I'm extending, I'm aiming to keep the head in line with the sacrum to address length into the right psoas. One last cycle. And I'm going to go from my extension to arms parallel to the ground, and the same pattern that we use while standing. Arms under the armpits, rounding of the spine, closing forward, Sternum comes in, scapula moving away from each other. Swim back and extend. A few more cycles. The scapula and the hips are working together to influence the spine. And I'm holding flexion, shifting the body weight forward into the hands. I'm taking the left foot back so that the left knee and the left heel are in line with each other. And I'm walking my right hand out, right hand in line with the right knee, shifting the body weight into the right hand and de-rotation of the chest. Open and expand. Left armpit, left arm under the right armpit. And I'm moving into these two opposite directions. Looking for range of motion gradually. Inhalation is inviting the extension. Exhalation is inviting the flexion. There is a shifting, if you can notice, in the movement of the hips. Last opening. Hips forward, the head goes back in line with the sacrum. The scapula move towards each other to open the sternum. And then flexion. Scapula go away from each other and the sternum comes into the chest. I'm taking the left hand onto the left hip and I'm shifting the body weight into the right hand and into the legs. I'm playing with the shifting of the body weight. One more time, it would be a good idea to have a block under the right hand. I'm holding the body weight into the right hand, shoulder in line with the right wrist, and then I'm taking the right foot forward and the right leg back. Exiting the wrist for a second, and then loading the wrist, step the leg forward and back. One more time. Feel free to do this movement a few more times on your own. To me, this one is enough. I'm going to hold it for a second, lift the left heel, and find a gentle side plank. Left heel comes back on the ground, stepping the right leg back, walking the hands back, straightening up the right leg and bouncing to a downward facing dog. Pressing the hands into the ground to move the buttocks away from the shoulders. Raising the kneecaps up to open the back of the knees gently. Lifting of the heels, and I'm rolling the spine from the posterior pelvic tilt, bending of the knees, bending of the elbows, and extend the spine to move back. A few more cycles of the big wave to then move into our final flow of the practice, putting together all these ideas. I'm holding the downward facing dog and I'm double bending and bouncing the knees. You can even find a small jump on the spot. I'm looking forward in between the hands, looking where I'm going to step, and then jump or step the feet forward to Uttanasana. You can take the dorsal of the hand on the floor, the palms are facing upward, giving an external rotation into the humerus and allowing the chest to remain open into a flexion. Full breathing. We take the body weight into the heels, connecting the pubic bone to the navel. The buttocks are going down towards the heels, while the head is raising up. Gradually into a Tadasana. And again, full breath. Observing the echo of the movements into the body. Alright, now class, we're going to find a flow that puts together all these movements with this butterfly pattern. We begin in our Tadasana, the front of the mat, raising the arms up, hinging at the hips, elbows into the side ribs. The forearm is parallel to the ground, and I'm going to round the spine, flexing, and I'm swimming back, extending. 2 more times. At the next cycle, I'm holding the flexion and I'm shifting the body weight onto the left leg, and I'm closing into this seat-like position. Very small connection of the pelvic floor to the sternum. Then step the right leg back. Come up with the arms into a warrior one. Bending of the left knee to find 90-degree angle. Straightening the right kneecap up to open the back of the right knee and draw the right heel towards the floor. Shoulders to the ears to lengthen the side ribs. The little finger is pointing to the ceiling to expand from the front of the arm upward. The elbows now are flexing into the side ribs, and I'm going to butterfly pattern and fold. And once again, come back, swing into an extension, back into a flexion. One more time. And when I'm flexing, I'm taking the knee on the floor, and then I'm going to go back with the arms and extend into my Tadasana. Backward into a floating Triangula Mukha. Extend. Last one. Flex. Now from the flexion, I'm taking my right hand down, stepping the right leg in line with the right hand, lifting the left heel, and finding the side bend. Left shoulder to the ear, dorsiflexing the right foot, left hip to the ceiling, coming back down to a flexion, into an extension. One more time. From the flexion, right hand in line with the right knee, left leg forward, side bend. Coming back into a flexion, taking the hands down, straightening the right leg up, raising the arms up to a warrior one, elbows into the side ribs, and now I'm going to straighten the left leg and rounding of the spine to Parvottanasana, and hold it here. Full breath. The right heel can be lifted, or you can step the right leg a little forward to find the heel connected to the ground. I'm bending the left knee, coming up to a warrior once again, elbows into the side ribs, and I'm using the pattern to round the spine, point the right foot, and take the right leg forward. Press into the heels, Tadasana. And I'm taking a moment to recover the breath before I enter the last second and last cycle of our practice. I'm observing the exertion of the previous movement, which are manifesting and expressing themselves as shortness of breath, accelerated heartbeat, and before I move, I'm looking for a little bit more of a state of balance. The whole breath can assist me. I'm taking an inhalation and a gentle, soft exhalation by spouting the lips. When you feel ready, second cycle, arms up, elbows into the side ribs, and bend. Add the hips to find Utkatasana, and then rounding of the spine, swimming back. One more time. Slow down the movement, swim back to an extension. We keep our flexion, shifting the body weight into the right leg. Now make yourself small and take the chest forward to take the left leg back. So one more time, I'm taking the chest forward over the right knee to step the left leg back as far as possible, and then I'm coming up into a warrior one. Bending of the right knee, so I have 90 degrees into the right knee. I'm taking the belly button towards the left knee to shift the left hip a little forward. Straightening the left kneecap To straighten the back leg, pressing the heel down to find extension to the front of the leg. The shoulders move up to the ears to lengthen the side ribs. Straightening of the elbows and pressing upward to the little finger to find extension in the front of the body. Elbows into the side ribs, rounding of the spine, closing forward, swimming back. 2 more cycles of these. And I'm holding the flexion of the spine, left knee on the ground, and then I'm swimming back, sinking into the left hip. Extension, coming back, flexion. Now from the flexion, I'm taking the left hand to the side, left hand in line with the left knee, step the left leg forward, lift the right heel up, moving through the right lung up towards the ceiling, dorsiflexing the left foot, stepping back, coming back into a flexion, going into an extension, swimming back, left hand in line with the left knee, sweeping of the right arm to go into an extension side bend. One more time. Extending, flexing, and side bending. To me, 3 on this cycle is more than enough. I'm coming back into an extension and flexion. Straightening only of the left leg, keeping the right knee bent. I'm remaining here for a second to then rise the arms up to a warrior. Elbows into the side ribs, and now I'm controlling through the butterfly movement the transition into Parvottanasana, stepping the left foot a little forward to find the heel grounded. And hold breath. Bending of the right knee, raising the shoulders up. Now I'm taking the elbows into the side ribs to find flexion. And now from this movement, I'm raising the left heel as much as possible, stepping the foot forward, press into the heels, and Tadasana. Full breathing. From here, I would like to enter into a recovery pattern very gently by sitting into Janu Shirshasana. I'm sitting on a blanket, so I'm elevating the buttocks off the ground so that I can sustain the height into the sides of the chest by lifting the hips. My right hand goes below the right knee and I'm closing completely the right knee so that there is no movement at the knee, the movement of the rotation is at the hip. I'm taking the right knee gently forward so that I can rotate the belly button to the left leg. And then I'm resting wherever the body wants to go, without looking for that. I'm just allowing the flexion in the chest to invite a child pose-like sensation. I maintain a degree of integrity into the left leg by pressing the medial arch of the left foot forward, and it's going to immediately rotate the leg, allowing it to stay straight. The scapula move away from each other. The back of the head is heavy. The whole breath is allowing me to address that sense of introspection that we have already mentioned earlier. By relaxing the back body, I can address the back of the lungs with the breath. We can release the hands and slide the hands back as if we were doing a ragdoll. Raise the chest up. Straighten up the right leg. Left hand below the left knee, closing the knee joint fully. And then I'm taking the left knee forward just to have the hips in one line for now. I move the belly button towards the right leg. And I start folding from here, resting the hands on the foot. Maintaining the connection of the chin to the sternum, observing the vertebrae of the cervical spine lengthening. The jaw is relaxed. The tongue is resting on the roof of the mouth. The right medial arch is pressing forward to medially rotate the right leg. I can find deep inhalation to highlight the back of the lungs, followed by exhalation, which are surrendering to the force of gravity. One more breath. Letting go of the hands, sliding back, unrolling of the spine through a ragdoll, straightening both legs. And now to rest the legs, we can fold the blanket one more time, take it below the knees, and just lie down in a supine position. Savasana. Please go. Yes, thank you. Thank you for leaving.